Hello, I'm Brad Werner. I'd like to talk with you a little bit about generative AI and sing as well. I have a little song for you. The opportunities to leverage generative AI in your software, in your apps, could be to provide text summarization capabilities, maybe some human language translation software, programming language code generation, search capabilities, a lot of different possibilities. Those are just a very brief few. There's a number of ways you could do this. A couple of different AWS services you could use are Amazon Bedrock and Amazon SageMaker. So I'd like to go over a few aspects of GenAI, and the context for this, where it might be useful for you, is to prepare for doing those kinds of things, but also maybe to prepare for the AWS Certified AI Practitioner certification. There are links right here that I'd like to lead you through, and then also these links are in the description of the video, so please check those out. AI Practitioner certification, we could prepare for the exam. There are a couple of links right here, the exam guide and the 4-step plan. I'll show you those. Links to both of those also in the description of the video. I hopped on down in the exam guide for the AI Practitioner certification, and notice that domain number 1 is fundamentals of AI and ML. Exciting, but not the focus of what I want to talk with you about today. Security, compliance, and governance for AI solutions does apply to both the foundations of AI and ML, but also to GenAI. So that is applicable a little bit to what we're talking about. But the main thing I want to focus on today with you is fundamentals of generative AI and applications of foundation models. So I'm going to hop on down to domain number 2 here. Fundamentals of generative AI. So this goes over some of the terminology, the concepts, the things that you should hopefully be familiar with, explain basic concepts of generative AI. And again, a whole lot of terminology, diffusion models, multimodal models, and large language models, foundation models, prompt engineering, vectors, and embeddings, which are related, and then a number of other aspects of using GenAI. Now, this is about concepts. It's not necessarily about implementing, engineering this into your app solutions, doing all the development of it. I do want to scroll down a little bit. There are some other related services that are mentioned here: Amazon SageMaker Jumpstart, Bedrock, Party Rock, the Playground in Bedrock, and Amazon Q also. Application to foundation models, a little bit more applicative, but still not so much engineering, but retrieval augmented generation is something I'll mention in the song. Won't get it too much into some of the rest of all this, but some things to think about. Now, there's another link to AWS Skill Builder. For the AWS Certified AI Practitioner, there is the ability to go and prepare for the exam using some skill builder resources. One of those available is the standard exam prep plan for the AI Practitioner certification. That is free. The enhanced exam prep plan provides some additional content and is a part of the skill builder paid subscriptions. So check out either or both of those as you feel appropriate. There are some topics about like what is generative AI you can get from the AWS documentation, as well as going through some of those exam prep resources. And some of the things that generative AI is based on is large language models. And certainly that's mentioned as you go through some of the aspects of all this. So foundation models, which can include both large language models, but also latent diffusion models as well. There is a separate link about what is a foundation model, goes a little bit into some of this, and so I recommend that you read through some of this if you like. And then retrieval augmented generation is a way that you can avoid having to train your own large language model or latent diffusion model. You can leverage existing ones that are available on Amazon Bedrock, by the way. And you could then, instead of doing fine-tuning or continued pre-training, you could go and do this retrieval augmented generation. So there's information about that here in the documents link in the description of the video, by the way. And I just want to scroll into a picture. I think there's a picture somewhere here. Let me go find one. How does it work? It talks about external data. you want to bring in, and there's a little picture here. What I did is I summarized this picture back over in the presentation here, and just want to kind of go through this. The whole idea is that you can have your software go and have a software module that you go and you don't just directly do a application program interface API call into this foundation model with the prompt that you have. The retrieval augmented generation, generative AI, is about first having your software go and do a knowledge-based query, this KB query, step number 2 here, into some knowledge base you've vectorized using embeddings. And then you get some results back, I hope. And then those results, your retrieval augmented generation code here would go and would then do some prompt engineering. Your software can kind of add that in the appropriate ways you've tested out and works for you. That will give you hopefully good results. And then you just use one of the foundation models through an endpoint like in Amazon Bedrock Runtime, and then get the response to that. So we have an augmented prompt through prompt engineering this RAG code, and then we get the response back that we wanted. That's it. So, well, I make it sound simple. Maybe that sounded complicated. I'm not sure which. You tell me. So certainly we can go over those kinds of things in more details by going through some of the training materials that are mentioned in the prep plan for certification exam I mentioned earlier. There are also other digital and instructor-led training opportunities for AWS services related to GenAI. I'd like to sing a song for you. A few months ago, I put some lyrics together that I hope you enjoy. Gen. GenAI, who will turn you loose? Foundation models are your golden goose. Who really knows what you have in store? We give you prompts with each API call. GenAI Foundation Model, deep learning data mine, trained on a massive corpus, large language model or latent diffusion, large language model or latent diffusion, large language model or latent diffusion, large language model or latent diffusion. GenAI, what's the next degree? Retrieval augmented generation is the key. With fine-tuning or continuous training, you observe. Picture of experts keeps you ahead of the curve. GenAI Foundation Model, deep learning data mine, trained on a massive corpus, large language model or latent diffusion, large language model or latent diffusion, large language model or latent diffusion, large language model or latent diffusion. We prompt you, we prompt you, we prompt you. Each stateless API call. We prompt you, we prompt you. We give you context for a stateful call. GenAI Foundation Model, deep learning data mine, trained on a massive corpus. Large language model, lower latent diffusion. 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 GenAI hallucinating. Large language model could lead to confusion. Temperature too random or copy is too diverse. Large language model or latent diffusion. Large language model or latent diffusion. Large language model or confusion. Large language model or latent diffusion. Large language model or latent diffusion. Large language model or latent diffusion or confusion. I hope you enjoyed the song. The lyrics are something that I put together a few months ago. The music and the basis for the rhyme scheme is, of course, based on 8675309 Jenny by Alex Call and Jim Keller, sung by Tommy Tutone, which is Tommy, Heath, Keller, and the rest of the band. Some of the links I provided earlier, again, they're in the description, I think would be potentially useful. I'd like you to check those out and let me know if those are helpful for you. So thank you for tuning in. Until next video, take care.